and those lanky legs he's got.
Dude,
He's not kicking that ass out.
I'm like a dog running around.
You
I'm like
ankle pick.
Oh yeah, I'm like a squirrel running around a tree on you.
You try to pull his leg back, you just ankle pick him.
God, I'm under you, dog.
And he falls.
And I'm like 4 weight classes above you.
So this morning, we talked to Doc was here bright and early, got a little chest workout in off that thick leg day yesterday. Teresa, hello, my love. But we talked about him getting ready for January 1st, the Titan Challenge 4, and how he's going to approach it differently than he has in the past. And so he's approaching it to set himself up to heal as he continues forward over the next 12 weeks. So for him, being in the shape that he's in, but injury free, I don't want to say injury, owie free, I guess you would say, functioning correctly is his goal. And I thought that was a real mature kind of a goal. I know it's not as flattering as I'm getting ready January 1st. I'm going to be in the best shape of my life. That's my go-to this time. But that's kind of what I always try to do. But I want to try to be strong in a couple different exercises in a different way. And so that's my approach. Also, I want to do this while I keep my nutrition higher than I've ever done before as I'm cutting. So when we're getting ready for the 12 weeks, right? Titan Challenge 4 starts January 1st. The calories are going to be at a certain amount at the beginning of that. And that's going to be some good calories. It's going to be some good proteins, maybe the fattier proteins. The carbohydrates will probably be a lot more high glycemic carbohydrates instead of the oatmeal, the low glycemic. That way you can kind of get in there and use it and get out. But I'll be having so many more meals. The hunger won't ever hit me because I'll be having my next meal by the time I get hungry again. So with that being said, can I keep my calories up? Also at the same time, for me this time, can I keep the cardio out? And so on this Titan Challenge 4, there will not be a cardio session for me for the next 12 weeks. Will not do it. On this cut, if I'm going to do anything extra, it will be another workout. So you guys with that? You understand that?
Well, I understand that.
You understand that.
I heard it loud.
Now that's something, man, I'm trying to think back. Something I haven't done since I honestly, I think probably, I'm going to date it. 1996 when I won the universe. That was the last time I kind of did that program where I would train twice and wouldn't do cardio and actually competed and won the universe. And so it was visually, I'll guarantee Mona would say that was her
Universe?
Yeah, it's right there. The Japanese cover.
Oh, no, what's that one?
That was the year after.
Oh.
So that was the 6 meals of 99% turkey.
Turkey.
Yeah, with
Tuna.
1 cup of oatmeal.
Oh, nice.
And I was killing it twice, plus the swim at night. That was that. The year before was that. And I know for bodybuilding world, this looked impressive on stage.
Sharp.
And I got more covers off of that.
Yeah.
Because photos and, that emaciated look in person, you're like, ugh, you don't look healthy. But in photos, it was crisp.
Yeah.
Visually, the top one, we're looking at 2 pictures on the wall here, 1 year apart, but the body weight was a 20 pounds difference. And so the top one, I liked
heavier
more.
Topper.
Yes.
For sure.
Yeah, much heavier.
Yeah.
But I walked on stage like that right
but I bet
there.
you felt 10 times better too, up top.
I liked how it looked.
Yeah.
Because my face wasn't so gaunt. It was just lean.
Healthy.
And I was big enough to hit it.
Clearly.
Hit it all. Back then, dude, If it didn't move, I'd move it. So for me, these are kind of my decisions as I go into this. And now I kind of have to live with those decisions. What's nice is this next 12 weeks, I got some projects I have to be ready for, but the condition I'm already in is decent enough for those conditions, and I'm just going to get better from this point on. So that's a crazy cool thing. But what is it about you? And I want you guys kind of to pull out your notepads, take your time, write it down, and go, what is the most beneficial way this time to prepare for the Titan 4 and how to train forward? So I would say let's try to pick your goals. I want to be extremely strong in 12 weeks. Okay. What's your second goal to that? I want to be moderately hard as I'm that strength, or I don't care about visual. And again, guys, I'm talking from me to you. Visual meaning you still look good, but you're focused on the strength. Or is it, no, I want to be sliced to the bone in 12 weeks. Okay, that's the number one goal. And now how are we going to get there? And then let's start breaking that nutrition plan together starting today, because right now you can go over to the Titan Crew. Jeff, will you put a link down? For you guys on Instagram, the link is in the bio. There's a link in the bio. You can get over to the Titan Crew. Put your information down. Make sure that you got the nutrition, send over the PDF file. Make sure I look at that to get that set up, because I'm going to give you new numbers and new ideas for you to start on January 1st. Okay, so that's the biggest thing. I want you guys to be ready. And we got to start doing this, I would say right now, if you can. Because if you start getting this ready right now, what do we got? Today's Tuesday. Dora Day. Man, she's quiet today.
Yeah, she is.
Holy cow.
You scared her away.
I scared her away. She's been with me for 20.
Ben.
Yeah. So with that being said, let's get it ready, because today's Tuesday. We got to really rock and roll and make sure that we are kicking some butt. All right. Also, for most of my Titan Crew members, can we put a link down for the blood work?
Yeah.
Okay. Get your blood work done. And then that goes over to the Transcend people, and they will get over and they will have a counselor call you to talk about what's going on. I just got off the phone with them, and I talked to them about an acquaintance of mine that did his blood work. Now, what's a couple things. Young, in his 20s, and his blood levels were in the 4 range. And so this kind of, again, goes to all of you guys. You don't know how your body is working unless you're getting tested. And that's the great thing about this last couple of years. You guys know I made sure not just to do one heart check, but we did all the processes that you can do for the heart check and make sure that's good. Make sure the valves are good. Make sure all that's good. Make sure the blood pressure is good. The cholesterol is good. We made sure to do those things. And it's kind of cool to get it back and go, hey, guess what? I've been lifting for 45 years. I'm healthy. My joints are healthy. Wow, this is kind of cool. And I still got to do this kind of training and keep riding this thing. And I am appreciative to that level. And what's really cool now is that we have, it's great. We have a better team around us today than we've ever had. You need blood work done? Got it. We need food, got it.
Boom.
We need our
Equipment?
nutrition, perfect, got it. We got equipment around, got it.
Clothes.
If we don't have equipment, can we still get a workout in? 100%, we can still do that. Again, you guys know this. Number one thing is nutrition. Nutrition has to be number one. Everything else is added on to that. Then the supplementation comes into play. Make sure that you're recovering. Make sure you're sleeping right. And I've stumbled onto probably my best sleep in a long time. Jeff and these guys will tell you, Jeff will get messages where he'll see something and he'll go, yeah, Mike got to bed around 1 o'clock or 2 o'clock. I go to sleep early, but I'd wake up early because my sleep pattern is just mostly when I'm dieting hard. It's just terrible.
Let's get some of these questions.
Yeah, sounds good to me. We got some questions here, so let's get some questions going. For you guys over here, the question box is down below. That's the place where I'll take your questions. How much cardio do you do now? So here is the question, guys. If you can see this, it'll pop up. How much cardio do you do now? 0 cardio right now. Training 6 days a week. And then cardio probably won't come into play until after these 12 weeks. I'm going to test how sliced I can get just off of my workouts. And if I have to, I'll go to 2 body parts a week. But thank you for the question, my man.
And then let's bounce off that to this. And you kind of just answered it. Let's see if we can squeeze more out of you. Apologies if you already covered this. With no cardio and increased calories, how do you make sure you'll come in lean enough?
See, that's a great one. So obviously, when I say it's an increase in calories, what that means for me is I'll still be in a deficit, but not like I've always done in the past. So if you guys know bodybuilding world, when you get to the end of your diet, you're getting ready for the Olympia, you're getting ready for Mr. Universe, you're going to get down to a point where you're basically doing your carb depletion at 50 grams. And everybody gets there. It's the same thing that we all meet there at the very bottom. And so the whole complaining thing about, oh, my diet, well, it's all the same.
Serge has been there all year.
Surge does do that all year. But you get down to that 50 grams because that's as low as you ever want to go. And you got your protein at a good amount to at least try to retain the muscle, but also just get rid of any of that internal fat. Because when you're at that point, you're trying to win Mr. Universe, okay? And one of the things is I was lucky enough to win the Mr. America, Mr. Universe, the Natural Mr. USA, Mr. World. So doing these shows, I could play with my calories. And I'd always find that I need to go down to that 50. My cardio would be peaked out. Everything I could do in the gym, you're utilizing. You're doing your cardio, you're speeding up the workouts, you're doing all that kind of stuff. So when I say that my food will be above, I will not drop this time below 200 grams. So if I'm staying at 200 grams of carbs, even at the last part, even at the most crucial part where I need to get sliced, that means I need to put the work in the gym to really make sure that I utilize it and use it for the workouts and that recovery. With that being said, so it's still in a deficit for me, but it's not as an extreme deficit. And so when I mean that's where I'm going to go with it. And again, right now, you guys know we got to make sure our calories are as high as they could possibly be without being a tool, without being just throwing in food. You know, make sure that you get your 50 grams of protein every couple hours. Make sure that you have your 50 grams of carbohydrates before and after your workout in the midday, hopefully later in the day. And then I do it at night, which has been helping me sleep, which is tremendous. So that's one of the great things for me. But again, this is going to be a fun learning experience for me to see if I can get to that level. Now, here's the problem. And I think we all do this. I've noticed that I am my worst critic. And so I have to be patient, and I kind of have to end up where I end up on this one and just kind of go, hey, this is it. This is the best I could look doing it this way. Because I'm really curious to see what it looks like. Not at the moment, but like maybe a month later, because this always happens to me. I'll look at photos a couple months later. It's like Jeff went to Vegas for us last year when we did this appearance. And I'm looking at the photos now of how I looked at that time. And I'm like, oh, I like how I looked. And it's surprising because when I looked at it at that day, when he showed me the photos, I was like, could have done better, could have done this different, could have done that different. But you look at it at a later time. And I know I went off subject there for a second, but on this one, I kind of have to go down, test it, step away from it after that 3 months of training, and then go back and look at it. Because again, I'm looking at these 2 photos on the wall, and it's a completely different structure, completely different. But I think the top one is more appealing. You know, you got a little bit just more healthy face and stuff like that. And it's tight, obviously. So in person, it must have been really extreme. But the bottom one, I looked dead in person. My eyes had black all the way around it. They were so sunk in. So here we go. That's my goal on this one.
Mike, to gain muscle in the off season to compete in a bodybuilding show, I'm guessing later.
Yeah.
Which of your programs, strength gains or power bodybuilding, is better to achieve this? 55, 210, 8%. I follow your nutrition.
Wow. Okay. First off, 8%. Wow. You are a beast
Yeah,
at 210 pounds.
pretty good on that photo.
Whoa. That's. It doesn't seem like you're that far off. I think the leanest I've been, especially because you're 55. The reason why I'm saying he's probably not far off is because 8% when you're 55 is different when you're 8% when you're a kid. It just looks different. It's a lot more lean as you get older. So the density he has, I would assume that you're competing maybe at 5%. So there's not much weight to lose there. I love that you're that lean, that body weight. 210 is a good size to be 8%. So great job. Great age. I would say if you're going to do a show, obviously power bodybuilding is going to keep that size and fullness for you. But I would jump over to strength gains if you're 12 weeks out, if that's where you're at. But if you're further than 12 weeks out, stay with power bodybuilding the next 6 months if you can. Like, let's say hypothetically you're going to compete later in the year next year. I would stay power bodybuilding right now for the next 6 months. And then the switch up to strength gains, you probably won't have to change your calorie intake when you switch from power bodybuilding to strength gains, because there's much more volume in strength gains. Because right now we're worrying about the weights to get your strength up that builds muscle with power bodybuilding. So that's what I would do, my man. Thank you. Thanks so much, man. And I'd love to see if you're on strength gains or power bodybuilding. Tristan, is that right? Did I see that right?
He's on your nutrition plan.
Yeah, make sure that you're in the Titan crew and post some pics, would you please? I would love to see the art piece that you have created so far. Let me see if I got another question for you, Jeffrey. I'll go back and forth over here. So this guy has chicken legs. Why? Well, I'm assuming you don't squat. He says, but I still have chicken legs. Why? I would say that it's probably the form that you're doing. And so, and this is for everybody. It's a tough thing. And I fully understand that frustration you guys may have that you do have smaller legs or chicken legs and you train them tough, right? So it goes back to the guy that's leg pressing 16 plates. And then after that, he has to go squat and he's squatting 135. So there's a disconnect. And I'm not saying that that's you. I'm just saying that there's a big disconnect between you guys pushing weights and thinking your legs are going to grow.
Yeah, right.
It doesn't work that way.
No.
It's how you push the weights. It's how you do the exercises, develop the body parts.
You feed the legs.
And so that's one of the biggest things. And then again, like Jeff said just now, you can train like an animal, but if you're not feeding it right, it's not recovering. You can only train as hard or as well as you recover. You can only train as well as you recover. If you are not recovering, you cannot train. That's it. Okay, so that's a hard one for you. This is what I recommend though for you. Thank you for the question first off over here on Instagram. And I do want to give props to this man right there. Ooh, because he has made that page blow up. Hey, will you guys also let me know how you guys are liking the page, the Mike O'Hearn Lifestyle? for anybody that's over there, get over into the Titan Crew, post a video of your form. For anybody here that says, my shoulders aren't growing, show me some side laterals. Show me how you're moving through the exercise. My legs aren't growing. Let me see a leg press. Let me see a leg curl. Let me see you do a hack squat. Let me see what you're doing so I can see if there's something visually I can see that you're not doing that's causing the defect or the lack of development in the body. Okay? So let's do that. That'd be a great one. Jeffrey?
This is a good question. I think we should get back on with Transcend too. For
Okay.
this question, because it's related. Mike, I'm using hair loss medication, Propecia, and it reduces DHT by 70%. Do you think this will affect my gains? So I think that's something.
Okay, that's a great question, and
It's a really good question.
I will do. You write that down.
Yeah, and not even just will it affect my gains, but what will it affect?
Yeah,
will
is it
it
gonna
affect my
hurt
testosterone?
your,
Will it affect my this or that?
So yeah, let's have me talk to experts.
Because I'd like a detailed.
Yeah, let me find that out, and let me find that out for all you guys that are doing hair treatment, because I know hair treatment. One of the biggest things is the side effect of ED, and so that's one big thing that I'll try to dive into
Not for me.
with Transcend, and see what there is or what options, because Propecia has been around for a long time,
Mhm.
or it seems like it's been around for a long time, and that's one of the main things. But is there something newer that doesn't affect you? And
Yeah.
again,
And I've heard like there's like maybe if you're taking Propecia, well, you shouldn't take this because it's gonna negate that or this or that.
what have you heard?
I don't quote me because I don't really recall, but it's like, well, if you're taking Propecia, should you take DHEA because one's gonna lower the other or vice
Wow.
versa. So it's like if you're taking the DHEA and Propecia, is DHEA doing anything at the end of the day? Because this is just kicking it out.
And see,
Something like that.
and there's so I'm glad you said this, my friend, because that gets my brain going all over the, like, because I do Propecia, but I also do DHEA. So it's one of those things like, okay, am I setting myself up to lose in an aspect of that? So that's a great question.
And then also, it's like,
Watch
well,
that.
look at you. So even if you are, let's say hypothetically, it does not produce the most optimal result doing that. Well, I mean, look at you, you still look pretty fucking good. So it's like, well,
I think that's with all the kind of stuff.
Yeah, right.
It's like, does glutamine help? Helps a little bit.
Yeah.
I'm good with that.
oh, glutamine.
You know what I mean, though. But it's like
Yeah.
it's like
Right.
vitamin C. I'll take vitamin C.
Hell yeah.
Well, you're still going to get sick. Okay, but I'll at least take vitamin C. I guess that goes back to it. But this is a great question. I really like this question because I think a lot of guys, especially today, and then also it's a new age, and I'm a first-time father. So if I can get my son to keep his hair for however long and make sure everything's functioning correctly through him as he gets older, it's a new day. And Propecia has been around for so long. So I'm really curious about all these aspects, and I'll help you guys out on that. And then we should at some point, yes, I know you guys don't, most of you guys don't want to, but we should talk about skin care. And I know that you guys, it's skin. I'm a guy. I don't wear sunblock or anything like that. I think you guys are missing a great opportunity to stay healthy longer and visually healthy longer by trying to take care of the skin instead of not taking care of the skin.
Can you build muscle while you're in a caloric deficit?
Say that again. I'm deleting. We got a couple blocks here. These guys are. Okay, go for it. Sorry.
Can you be in a calorie deficit and build muscle? See the exhale?
Yeah.
Notice the exhale?
I know you guys hear that, and then I really do. I fully understand that you guys hear things like. So the question was for you guys over here, if you didn't hear it, is can you build muscle in a calorie deficit?
It's a big tricky depends.
Hell yeah.
kind of.
There might be the guy out there that can do it. I just wouldn't waste my time. It's so hard to build muscle.
Yeah,
I wouldn't waste my time trying to find that research out. You know what I mean? I just really wouldn't. Again, if you want to put on 30, you want to look like you put on 30 pounds, lose 15 pounds. Let me say it again. You want to look like you put on 30 pounds, lose 15 pounds. And so my point there is this, like when I did the 30-day blitz for the first time, it's definitely a deficit, but I looked 10 times bigger because I got leaner. And so that's where it comes down to. If you are trying to put on muscle, you're basically tearing down your body and then telling it to recover without the nutrients to recover. So that's why the question is such a silly kind of question. It's like, it's already going to take you, listen, 5 pounds a year is what they talk about, the best you could do for building muscle, 5 pounds. And so you want to play out with being in a deficit and try to put on 5 pounds? I just don't recommend it. It's so tough already, guys. I don't know if you want to waste your time doing it that way, try it, have fun with it. I couldn't for myself do that. And I'm glad I didn't as a kid. Because again, I was a heavyweight wrestler by the time I started as a freshman in high school. So the cool thing about that was I never had to diet. The only time I ever dieted was for my bodybuilding show for 3 months. And it actually spiked that metabolism because I got right back on the calories. And so I put on so much size through those years. And I just think it's a struggle, guys. And you're making it harder on yourself. Go for it.
Get big or get shredded. Pick one.
Oh, get bigger, get shredded?
No, that's my.
Oh, your
2
point
cents.
is, yeah, Jester's point is get bigger, get shredded. Yeah. Getting big, I would spend more time than getting shredded.
Check out, Varun, the expert over here. You can build muscle in a deficit only if you have a good amount of fat in your body.
That made no sense whatsoever. Holy shit. Holy shit. Did this guy really just say that?
Yes.
If you have fat in your body, you can build muscle. Oh my God.
In a deficit.
In a deficit.
So I guess you can build muscle in a deficit only if you have fat.
Can you block that guy? Because that might be the dumbest thing I've ever heard in my life.
Varun, this is gonna be the 3rd time you've been blocked, buddy.
Holy shit.
One day.
What does fat have to do with building muscle?
Varun, I'm gonna have to send you my Venmo now for all these unblocks you keep requesting.
Yeah, that makes no sense. Let's not be that guy. Let's not be that. Just that's a waste of conversation. Oh, that's a great one right here. So,
Oh yeah. Do you have any passions outside of fitness?
I cannot wait for you guys to see this. I got 2 movies that are showing at Sundance Film Festival here in January 20th and the 21st. Both movies will be released after that in theaters worldwide. If anybody knows me here, they know that my majority of my life is real estate and television and movies. And so it's really cool that the hidden struggle is paying dividends mostly at this time. The Gardner's here. So it's really cool. And so thank you for asking that. Welcome to the page. I appreciate you being here. And thank you for the question.
Yeah, this guy is adding on to what we said earlier, which he's saying Propecia increases your estrogen because it blocks the DHT, which is the same goes for finasteride, minoxidil, etc. It lowers your T and increases your estrogen. It's something I want to talk to them about. I think
Does it lower your T or does it raise your estrogen?
Not sure. It's a really good.
It's a good question.
It's a great topic to talk about with some real medical experts.
Yeah. So I'll definitely talk to them about that and find out the correct answers for you guys on that. I'm really curious about that too, because that's some of the questions I get asked a lot: skincare and hair care.
There you go. No one's asked you this. How can you start doing muscle ups?
How can you start doing muscle ups?
Yeah.
I would go to a CrossFit gym and ask for one of those coaches to kind of teach you how to do it.
You can't fucking do them there. Yeah, right. They wish they could do them.
Where do they normally do them? Isn't CrossFit? That's muscle ups.
Muscles like the kit.
Yeah, I know.
Yeah, I mean, I guess. I don't think they're good enough.
I learned because of gymnastics.
Yeah.
How much should you keep bulking for if you own the gym for less than 6 months? Okay, I think this might be a good one, guys. Go for it, Jeffrey. Read that to the fans.
How long should you keep bulking for if you've been in the gym for less than 6 months? So I'm guessing he's a
Wow.
super
Hey,
beginner.
Serge, were you in a second? Or ask Dora to throw me a water?
What?
Yeah. Well, 6 months isn't that long, but congratulations. First off, maybe that's not long for me. I would say if it's the first time in the gym and you've been there for 6 months, I would do a good year. I would really try to get a year in. That way the body has time to adapt to that new size that you've put on. And then after that, I would pick those 12 weeks and say, hey, I'm cutting up. And wherever you get to take photos, take notes, write down where you are at 6 months on your strength levels, that kind of stuff. Take photos of you now, even if you don't look good. Who cares? Put them in your notebook. All right. It's a huge thing is to take photos and look back at them later. And I talked about this for a different aspect earlier, but photos are an incredible thing.
Mm-hmm.
And listen, today is as young as you're ever going to be. That's it. And so looking back at yourself in 6 months, you might go, oh, it wasn't as bad as I thought. And I heard somebody tell me this over 33 years ago. And I'm like a 20-year-old kid going, shut up. What do you know? And he was a photographer and a big time photographer, and he knew everything. And I was just a young, dumb kid. I was already doing photos, but the whole aspect of looking at yourself 3 months later or 4 months later gives you a different perspective of what you really look like. So that's what I would do. I know that's outside of bodybuilding. That's for anybody and everybody, guys. Ooh, I got a good one.
What do you
I got
got?
a good one.
You don't got a good
No, I got a good question. Good job over here, guys. Mike, how can I find a balance where I'm big but shredded? So crazy enough, we were just talking about that in a sense on this next phase of my diet here, starting Titan Challenge 4 and my decision to not do cardio on this cut. If I'm going to do anything extra, it's extra workouts, but it's not extra cardio. It's not any cardio. So with that being said, to find a balance, great thing about bodybuilding or the art of bodybuilding is you continue to try to create your art piece. And I don't know who said this, but they said, I'm going to chase my dream knowing I may never get it. And that's kind of what bodybuilding is. As long as I've trained and as long as many shows as I've won and covers I've been on, I am still striving to create that one body that I'm like, there it is. So unfortunately, I can't answer that question. That question has to come from all of you. And the question again is, where can I find a balance between being big and shredded? This is up to you and how you look. Because here's the other thing.